Hello and welcome to Four Little Bears. This is Stacy. Today we're going to make the box that goes along with the Mega Stash Buster card kit, or just a box that would hold any set of 4, maybe even 5 or 6 cards with their envelopes. I'll go ahead and link to the Mega Stash Buster cards that you can make here. Now, just a note on these boxes, you may need to adjust them. So my cards are from Hello Hobby, the card bases and the envelopes, and they measure 4 3/8 by 6 inches. The finished box does. So you may need to adjust these based on your envelope sizes. Here are a few that I have already made. You can see there with different patterns that I've done. And then one of these is size adjusted. I think this second one here with the unicorns measures, I don't remember what the measurements are, but it holds about 12 cards. So you can easily size this up or down to whatever you need. We're going to use this for the cards that we made with the Mega Stash Buster video. So each box is going to take one piece of normal size printer paper. I normally use a medium to heavyweight cardstock that's resistant to cracking. That's a big thing. I used Hammermill, 100-pound weight, but use your favorite. Anything should work. You can follow the templates, scoring on the dashed lines and cutting on the red lines. Here I'm showing you can use any shape you want for that cutout in the front, or you don't have to have one at all. So on mine, I chose a frilly rectangle cutout and a sheet of acetate to fill in the hole. But really any size or shape die that fits on top of that template when you print it out should work fine. I like using 6x6 papers for the covers of these because you end up with just very little scraps. So I'll just run through and figure out which papers go with each set of cards. And I'll go ahead and I will cut out my pieces. Here I'm just sizing up which one I think works better. And again, if you print this out on a normal size sheet of paper, printer paper, you should be able to use it as a direct template, which means you can actually cut this out and make it into a box, I believe. So for the box front, you're going to cut your cardstock to 5.5 by 6.5. And if you cut it this way, you're going to end up with both your front and back pieces. So there's very little left over. On the 5.5 side, you're going to score at 1/2 inch and 5 inches. Or to make it easy, you can run through and score this at 1/2 inch on 3 sides. Now I'm going to start cutting my matting layer, folding in my creases, and then cutting my matting layer at 4 1/4 by 5 3/4. Follow the cutting guide and split the little tabs at the bottom at the red line on the cutting guide. And again, this mat that I'm doing here is 4 1/4 by 5 3/4. and then save these little pieces because that's what's going to be the sides of your box for the matting layers. And on the sides, I didn't show cutting the sides, but on those, my pieces are about 3/8 of an inch by 5 3/4 and 3/8 of an inch by 4. Let's see, what is this? This is 4 1/4. So you'll need 2 pieces of the longer and 2 pieces of the shorter. Go ahead and attach, or go ahead and glue on your piece. Line up your die cut for your window if you're doing one. And here also, I used a punch on this, but you could also use a die to cut the top. And actually, I used a punch on this one, but for the rest of them, I ended up die cutting the little circle. I thought it was easier to line up the thumb hole. So go ahead and save the piece that comes out that you've die cut, because that's a great piece for a whole nother card, or you could use it on the back, however you like. Again, I'm just lining this up on top of the template, making sure that it looks bright. Here I'm adding the acetate on the window. I'm just going to mark it with a Sharpie right now for where I need to cut it. As you can see, it's very precise. Just as long as this window covers up here. You can use tape, of course. I'm going to use art glitter glue. I think it holds really well. Just make sure you don't use too much so that it doesn't leak onto the acetate. And I've tried to give myself enough of a little window here so that it doesn't leak too much when I push that down. And I'm just trying to smooth out the glue toward the outsides instead of toward the insides. Wipe that up, make sure it's good and clean. And here is where, if you were smart, you would add the long pieces of pattern paper to each side, because on the front is where you have your front sides. I did not do that because I am not smart in this situation. You can see I used the guide to line up that thumb hole. I'm picking out a punch for the thumb hole. Now, the only important thing you need to keep in mind with the thumb hole is that you make sure to not let it go past a 1/2 inch down, because your tab that fits inside it is only a 1/2 inch long. So you don't want your circle to go down lower than your little thumb hole. So here I am finishing up cutting out the box back. So this piece of cardstock should be 5.5 inches by 7.5 inches. On the 7.5 inch side, you're going to score at 1/2 inch, 6.5 inches, and 7.5 inches. That's on the 7.5 inch side. On the 5.5 inch side, score 1/2 inch and 5 inches. And again, to make this easy, you can score all the way around it at 0.5 inches on each side. And on the top side, score it in also at 1 inch. Then you're going to follow the guide and you're going to cut out the red shaded pieces and cut a slit on the red lines. And that's going to make your tabs that come in and hold the top in place. And I apologize, I did that completely off screen, but you can see it matches the template when you lay it on top. I didn't do it on this one, but it is easiest if you lay down your matte layers for the top pieces here while you can. It'll be on the outside folds of the two top pieces. So here we're going to put it together. You're going to add glue to the back side and glue the front onto it. Try to match up your fold lines. Again, I'm going out of screen here. Sorry about that. I'm going to add glue to this one, and you can kind of fold it back over itself and line it up again. Again, kind of making sure that those crease lines are in the correct spots as you're gluing them down. I'm using art glitter glue again here just because it's really strong. Any kind of adhesive that you like should work. I'll tuck in the bottom and glue it like a normal box. I am so sorry I'm out of screen here, but I am just tucking in the bottom two pieces, and I'm making sure to fold the front backwards so that the seam is on the back and not the front. All that's left to do is add the envelopes and the cards into the boxes. And if you're me, go ahead and finish decorating the sides. I made a box for all 6 of the sets of these cards. I think it makes a really nice box set. It would be a great gift. Free PDF to this box cutting and folding guide is linked below. Hope you enjoy. If you made it with me this far, thank you. Subscribe and like the video if you liked it. Leave a comment. And again, I would love to see what you did. Tag me on social media. All the links are down below. Until next time, thanks and have a great week.